What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hambone Fishing. Today we are talking about the Hobie Open event. Day one is today, day two will be next week. But it was a fun event. You know, as you'll see in kind of the video, I was really focused on the tournament, not so much focused on trying to get the best content for YouTube, but that's just kind of how it is when you're fishing in a big tournament. So I had a decent day. I showed up to the ramp and there was like 4 kayaks there. So I headed to my spot and I had my spot to myself. I was pretty excited. I knew it wouldn't last all day, and it didn't. You know, there was a couple boats that came in and out, throughout the course of the day. I got to my spot and, I started in one area. I think I had a missed fish there. I missed so many fish this day. I'm not gonna bore you with all that, and honestly trying to find it in the footage would be a nightmare anyway. So I caught several fish, not overly big. The day started off pretty good. Check this out. One. That fish, I'm pretty sure that fish was in my limit. I think that was like a 14 or 15 incher. So I knew I had my same pattern was working. The red speed trap, shallow. I was trying to get the boat in about 6 to 7 feet of water. What ended up happening was, as the day went on, I noticed that when the sun would come out, all of a sudden I'd get a bite window where I get 2 to 3 bites in a row. I think it was just because the water would warm up a little bit. Last week, as you saw in my practice video, it was sunny all day. I got a lot of bites. I caught a lot of fish. As it was overcast, everything just turned off. I couldn't find any fish, and I think that with that muddy water, that was kind of the deal. So I'm keep trucking along after that first fish, and get another bite, but didn't help.
That's the fish. Are you serious? What a tank crappie. Look at that. Oh, come on. Another one. 15 and a half. Dude, what's the deal?
Well, those crappies aren't going to help you. Not in this event, obviously. I know there were some crappie fishermen that I talked to at the launch that would have definitely taken that fish. And then you saw that missed fish there as well. So you just don't know if those fish are going to help you or not. You don't know if, could it have been another 15 incher? Could it have been, another dink? Who knows? That's just how it goes. We'll keep on trucking.
sir. That's a good one. Largie. All right, 16. It's an upgrade. A little bit better fish. QC limit. 14 incher. He choked it. Woo. He might be. Come on. Damn it. Seriously.
All right, so that was fish 2 and 3. The whole morning I was fishing with this speed trap lure, Jensen, I believe. Anyway, it's a red hot Texas craw. It's just red and black, typical Lake Norman type deal. That's their 1/8 ounce, or I'm sorry, that's their 1/4 ounce. You saw me switch over and put on a different crankbait, and I put on this little DT4 from Rapala. This is their Demon color, which is very, very popular this time of year. I don't know if that made a huge difference, but it was just kind of a switch up thing. And I caught the fish on, and that was probably my biggest bass of the day. That was a largemouth. I think it was like 16 inches. Again, I didn't catch a lot of big fish that day. So throwing this DT10 or DT4, I caught this one.
Not gonna help.
Yes! Yes! Oh, damn.
Look, I get it. That was a bit of an overreaction for a 16-inch fish. However, that gave me my limit for Hobie. So I had a small limit for both, and I think Queen City I ended up in like 35th. Same with Hobie for the day, but again, I was going back and forth between the two, just kind of switching back and forth between the two crankbaits. I had a snap on, so it was just quick between the two. I just took the O-rings off of both and just kind of going back and forth between the two. So that was my limit, and I was feeling all right, but it had taken a long time. So between fish 4 and 5, it was probably a good 2 hours, and my bite just really slowed. I threw a stick bait, I threw a drop shot, I threw a shaky head around some docks, and I just wasn't getting bit. And so what I decided to key in on, and what eventually I started really keying in on, is as the sun, especially as the sun came up a little bit more and when it was sunny out, is the area I was fishing had a lot of private boat ramps, so the concrete boat ramps, and fish tended to be around those. So that's kind of what I focused on. I'd, cover water by just checking those out and fishing the cranks along those, and then just any docks that looked pretty good. There was a lot of water that I just kind of skipped because it just didn't look right. Whether that helped me or hurt me, I don't know. That's kind of where I was at. 5 fish in the boat, both limits done. And obviously with, these 2-day tournaments like Hobie, you can't win it on day one, but you can definitely lose it. And at that point I knew, I was like, all right, well, I've got like 70-ish inches. And if I wanted to be in contention on day 2, I had to get at least 80. So I was right there. I had 14-inch fish in my limit, and I was like, gosh, I gotta do this. So that's where we're at, and let's keep going.
That's a hybrid right there, my friends. Jeez.
Like a truck.
Thought I had big bass. That's a solid hybrid right there. He's not gonna help. That's it. El Finito, day 1. Pretty bummed. Pretty bummed. Couldn't get that kicker fish. Couldn't get rid of that 14-incher. Those two 14-inchers. So I don't know. I didn't have a kicker fish. What are you gonna do? See what tomorrow has. Tomorrow's gonna be probably pretty brutal. Probably not coming back here.
Well, there you got it. Those last 3 fish did not help me one bit at all. That hybrid, man, that was wild. You get anybody that fishes lakes that have both spots, largemouth, and striped bass or hybrids in it. Those hybrids they feel like they hit exactly the same baits as a largemouth or spot. They're typically in the same places depending on the time of the year. They fight like a largemouth or a spot, and you get into the boat and you realize they're silver, and it kills a little part of you every single time. Again, like I said, those last 3 fish didn't really help me. That was my day 1. Here's my 4 fish. Puts me in about 70, I think it put me exactly at 76 inches, like 35th, 39th place, something like that. I knew that if I wanted a shot at it, cashing a check, I'd have to have a monster day 2. even at the end of day one, I was kind of like, why even fish day two? You know, but I did get out for day two, and that will be next week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Look for day two next week. And until then, thanks for watching again. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you next time. This is Graham with Hambone Fishing.